Hi and welcome to Mark's Motivational Podcast from another Authors Tuesday. Today I'm delighted to be joined by another great guest author. I had the pleasure of meeting yesterday at the fair where we sold our books. It was really successful, so thanks very much for that, Rebecca. So Rebecca Rebeca, great to welcome you on the show. Thanks a lot for joining me.
No, thank you, Mark. Thanks a million for the opportunity.
Right. And as I said at the start, it was a great meeting you all yesterday. At the fair, it was really good in Racker. To promote your stuff was a great idea. Got
Yes,
some sales.
and I really like that it was also in conjunction with Face Space Art. They were
Yeah,
having impressive exhibition of art,
yeah.
and they gave us the space to have a market. And I really wanted to take advantage, and I wrote the message to the Inkies group, and I'm very happy you came. I'm very happy you came.
No, it was really good, really good.
Inspiration.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant, really, really good. So we might just start off the show. If you want to tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and your great book that you had on display yesterday, and you also do so much like with your artwork and also the way you do your covers for Harry's book for the Inslingers was brilliant. So just give us a basic information. Brilliant, thank you.
Uh, Thank you so much. So I'm Rebeca Giorgetta Bighiu, RG Bighiu. I chose that name. Oh, it's my name. And I was born in Romania, but I moved to Spain when I was 14. And there I actually participated in a few poetry slams. I studied history of art. And 5 years ago, I arrived here. I was a tourist guide, but that was a little bit too hectic for me. So, so I love it.
Yeah.
Now I have a like normal office job, which I enjoy as well, and it gives me time to schedule my writing and my creative endeavors. I really like art in general, so I try to help where I can some artists that are based here in Ireland, especially Kinmx, which is Katrina, which we did a few exhibition in which I wrote the poetry or her portfolio. And yeah, there's a new exhibition coming soon on the 30th of May in the Mexican Embassy with the new edited poems. And I did a book this year. I finally published a book
Wow.
that tarot cards and
Yeah,
other
we have it
poems.
here. Yeah, we have it here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you so
great
much.
stuff. Yeah.
And it was like 2 years in the making. There's this thing called Inktober, and every single day of October you have like word, and you have to make like a design to ink something like nicely. And I always wanted to have like a little poem
Mm.
with it. So I think the first time I arrived in Ireland, I did Inktober. It was the first time I did Inktober, and
Oh,
every
wow.
single one had a poem. And I think that I improved my drawing skills thanks to that. And also I really hope I crafted a little bit of my poems.
Mm. Yeah,
So
no,
yeah,
they're
that's it.
really, really good, and I love like your artwork in the book. Like is absolutely brilliant. Like have you always done art? Have you always you've obviously always done pictures? Have you always done that?
I love art.
Yeah,
I love it. That's why I studied history of art.
yeah,
So yes, since I was a small kid, I painted the walls.
yeah,
My
yeah.
mom away the drawing pencil. So when
Mm.
she hid away the drawing pencil, I took the key of the house and begin to scrub the wall.
Great
Give
stuff.
me back my pencils.
Yeah, yeah. And as well as
Um,
that, you do art for like covers of books. You done it for the Inkslingers as well. Do you want to talk about that?
yes, I did it for Harry Brown,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
his Barrel Frogs, and I try like to be more involved, but I'm a little bit, my head is in the clouds many times, and sometimes I manage to finish. I have so many projects in my head,
Yeah, I
and
know.
sometimes I finish them, and other times they just sit there in the
But,
on the shelves
but
waiting.
I think that's a great idea because you can always come back to that and make changes and make things happen with it. So I think that's a great idea to have like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And like, did you self-publish your book on Amazon? Was it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was on the birthday of my mom. Actually,
Oh, cool.
because she knew that I was editing. Because you know yourself, when you have like the first draft,
Yeah,
and then you just like, it's not good enough. It's not
yeah,
good enough.
yeah.
And my mom was like, on my birthday or for Christmas, between Christmas and my birthday, I want the Christmas present, the New Year's present, birthday present to be your book.
Mm.
And I was like, yeah. And then I'm like, Mom, I found this best present for you. Is it your book? I'm like, no. I'm like, that's my present. And it was actually self-published on her birthday, the 13th of, and she's very delighted with it. So
Brilliant. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
congratulations. That's great. And did you
thank
have like a book launch at the time, Rebecca? Did you just do a book launch?
you. Not really.
No, no.
It was more for my friends. It was more I got a lot of support from my friends
Brilliant.
that
Yeah.
they were my book launch, and I didn't even expect it for the projects to be concluded, and I'm very delighted that it was.
Yeah.
But it was more, this market was mainly my book launch, so to speak.
Great. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, and you've done a great job organizing it. It was absolutely brilliant. Really, really
Thank
impressive. Because that was my first time doing something like that as well. So thank you. Yeah.
Perfect.
It's around tarot card reading. Is that something else you do to promote that as well?
Um, I love tarots.
Yeah.
I love stories in general,
Mm.
and it seems that every single person I talk with, especially in the art community, they're all in love with the archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the best archetypes, like not proof, sample of archetypes is the tarot cards, the major arcana.
Mm.
It does give you the hero's journey in 22 images. The tarot cards is much more big, like it has the minor
Mm.
arcana, and it has the elements and everything. But for a hero's journey, to have it explained, you have the tarot cards. And I'm very into Jung,
Mm.
so
Yeah.
into Jungian archetypes, Eric Newman, The Origins of Consciousness.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's good. I started with this. I started like reading Jung and the archetypes, and I remembered my mom was very into tarot and astrology.
Yeah.
And while he was talking about this tarot cards and this archetype, and what my mom was talking about tarot cards and astrology, and I was just looking at it. I think I'm understanding my mom a little bit better, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I love the pictures you were selling yesterday as well that go with the book as well. I thought that's a brilliant idea. Do you want to talk about that as well? Because I just think they're. Do you have any with you today to show people? Because it will be going on YouTube.
With me. Not really.
Oh,
I
okay.
have the books are left in the
Oh,
face art.
I should have.
I'm
Oh,
going
yeah, yeah.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. Oh, grand. No, because
But
like you can share them with me, and I can put them on the show notes as well for people to check out. You've got a website, you know. You've got a website, yeah, yeah. Which
yeah.
that's
And
really cool.
also my Instagram has the Inktober, so you can actually see the first draft of and if you buy it or if you look at it, you can actually see that there's a big difference between what's in Instagram and
Yeah,
what's already there. And um, it's um, it's more about Jungian, the process of alchemizing, and it's a lot of new age stories because I've tried to understand it. I don't consider myself that much of an active force, more of an observer and a devourer of everything that is written. I studied history, so
yeah,
I always need like three references to make sure that I'm getting something specific.
Yeah.
from what I'm learning. But I like to dabble in those imagery, in poetry, and in ink as well.
Yeah, cool.
Both,
Yeah, yeah. And
yeah.
would you mind reading out one of your poems for the listeners as well, Rebecca? It would be great if you could. Um,
Sure, of
yeah,
course.
it'd be brilliant. Yeah,
Um,
thanks very much. And yeah,
no,
I think they're really cool.
actually, I have this. So some of the poems that I was doing, one of them in particular, I always thought like I had a. It was difficult for me to edit it, but then I realized that it can be a song.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Yeah,
So after that, when I thought about it as a song, I think it got better. It's called Alchemy of Fire,
cool. Yeah,
and it's from, so the book itself is 3 chapters, because when you do a tarot card reading, you have the first card being the past,
yeah,
the second card being the present, and the third card being the future. And this one is from the past, and the past is the hangman, accomplice of the martyr, right?
yeah, yeah.
And the second poem after the poem of the hangman is Alchemy of Fire. And it's people needed fire, a sacrifice supplier, something hate could inquire. They brought her to a stake, head down, hands tied, body flowed and shaken. Her walk was rust when toes broken, her soul still shining. People needed fire, something envy could inquire. Welcome to your death, said the shaft to her hands. Welcome, said the smoke. Flame kissed her skin. Welcome to the fire. Her screams pierced the air. Silence, cheering, grasping, unease, pleasure, whispers, and prayers. People needed fire, something fear could inquire. Only adoration was fear and exaltation, fear blooming, fear crackling, flesh burning from different holes. People needed fire, a sacrifice supplier, though it hurt, though it ached, though it burned. Fire is like alchemy. Fire was her destiny. So she burned with her hate, envy, and fear for soul. Oh, why do people still need fire?
Wow, that is brilliant. Well done. That's excellent. Yeah, I love the way you read it. It's great, like absolutely brilliant. I love that. Great stuff. Thank you for sharing that.
But
Yeah,
I wasn't able to finish it till I thought, that beautiful Irish singing that has like the
yeah,
tilt, the lilt in
yeah,
it.
yeah,
And I was thinking, people needed fire, a
yeah.
sacrifice supplier. And then it continues and it continues.
Yeah, as you were reading it there, I was thinking, because I love music as well, so like I was kind of thinking of it of a song the way you were speaking it. So that was great. Yeah, well, thank you for sharing it. That's amazing. Because I might ask you to do the meditation one as well, because I'm very interested in meditation. You know? Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
Yes. Again, I'm always searching reference on different sources. The need to try different types of meditation,
yeah,
and I think I had uh, 1 year in which I was trying to do at least like 15 minutes per day and just be with the monkey mind, right?
yeah, yeah,
And it's very interesting. There really is, you can really sense that there's an after effect. You don't have it like straight away. It's like going to the gym. You don't see the muscle straight away, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
But after you realize that you don't react
Yeah. Mhm.
that suddenly, you are actually there, present in the now. And it's so important, especially nowadays when we're bombarded with so many things from, like, we have this gadget over here, right, that
Yeah,
helps us
yeah, I know.
in so many ways, but
Mm,
also creates that monkey mind. It's just
yeah,
more intense.
yeah,
So that poem, the meditation one, is from Future. because I really want to have meditation still in my future every single day if I could, if I manage. And it's a short one, and it's my mind goes into a station, my body chills in restoration, existence rescheduled in adoration, welcome the day, confront chaos with silence, life a reclamation of a self that knows that it is connected, rearranging the basis of reality within a breath, encapsulating divinity in the eternity of a moment, getting upfront into the mind for an outpost of a better life.
Wow.
That's
Cool. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. No, the poems are great. And I love the pictures that go with are sublime as well. Really, really good. Great, thank you. And
so much.
how many languages do you know yourself? Spanish and Romanian. How many languages have you got?
I know a little bit of French. I lived a year in France. And there's where I learned theater, and I gave a second chance to drawing because I actually when you start college and drawing is a hobby, you can leave it behind. But in France, for me, it was Erasmus was a big experience in which to be honest, I just stayed in my room, went traveling and draw and made puppets because I was doing theater and puppetry.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I loved it.
Great stuff, yeah. So you're busy girl. Yeah.
This maybe I
Yeah,
just get
yeah.
distracted with what was it? I think Terry Pratchett said something. It's so interesting that in a life that it's so sublime and you have so many things, humankind created the boredom.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's incredible. And the character that said that in Terry Pratchett's book was Death. So that was like, oh, you people are so interesting. And yeah.
Right. So, sorry, just give me 1 second there. I just want to check. Grant. Okay, so no, sorry about that, Rebecca. We were saying as well. Do you kind of you know when you do your art for covers and books? Can you talk? Is that a service you provide at the moment for people that are listening? Where can people contact you for that? Through your website, I take it.
To the website, mainly through Instagram.
Okay, yeah.
I always check to see if somebody requested a message, and I will be absolutely delighted.
Great.
Yes, yeah.
And what's your Instagram, Rebecca?
It's at RG Bighiu. It's the name of the book everywhere.
Okay.
LinkedIn.
Great.
I always use that name. I don't use Twitter, so don't contact me on Twitter. Instagram is the
Instagram.
mainly and the website that I'm trying now to edit and make better and put more drawings into it.
And have you made many covers for people? Have you done much work like that? I know you've done a brilliant job on Harry's book. Just have you done many more?
I've done a couple of illustration, a couple of designs for books, also like for when I was working as a tour guide and in the tourist office in Spain. I usually did the flamenco design for the people to go to flamenco shows, and
yeah, brilliant. Yeah,
I like it. I like it. So for me, it's more like even with the artist, because I write for artists, and I see that I'm sometimes drawing for writers, right?
yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know, if I'm like the theme that you're talking about, I can be very enthusiastic about it. I can be like, there you go, this is it, I love this, let's put this, what do you think about this? So just pitch your and I like yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, because as you know, I'll be doing a second book, so I'll be definitely talking about that. So great stuff. Yeah,
I love the design, and I think it's marvelous.
Thank
I would love
you.
it. Love to.
Thanks very much. Who is your main influences yourself? Who would you say influences writers that kind of inspire you, Rebecca?
In regards with poetry,
Yeah, poetry and art as well. Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
That's I have like different things for like, there's a plethora of like, life is gorgeous, right? History has so gems that are just like shining through the echoes, chronicles. But Khalil Gibran, that's what I wanted. A illustrated poem book is because of Khalil Gibran, the Prophet. He is a Lebanese author, and his book is absolutely marvelous. He was actually made that book, I think in 2007, 2003, I don't remember. It was made for a children's movie.
Okay.
And I recommend it, Mark. I recommend it because some of the artists that play the songs are Irish, and it's delicious. It's absolutely gorgeous. So it starts like a normal 3D movie, and then it begins to give the poems one by one, and every single poem has a different song and has a different aesthetic by different artists. It's just gorgeous. I love it. That in regards with poetry. I love Khalil Gibran and Mihai Eminescu, which is a Romanian author that was again from the same era, from the 19th century. Oh, Baudelaire, of course. But and so many more that I feel bad for not naming them.
Oh no.
Then I adore Neil Gaiman. When I arrived here, he was signing books here in Dublin, and that's like the first thing I did. I went with my book of trigger warnings, and he signed 2 hours. I wonder how his hand was because he was so tired signing books, but he still signed mine. So I think I had the front page on the shelves just looking at me for like 3 months because I saw that signature. Oh my God. And Terry Pratchett, Douglas Adams in regards with fantasy and science fiction. And then I'm still reading. I'm still it's more that sort of line. And then in regards with the mystical, Alejandro Jodorowsky. He has the best comics, the best movies, especially the latest ones, not the earliest ones, but the latest one that he did in regards with movies, and the theme. It's the theme that it's about. It's about keep going and enjoy life, and I love that theme.
Great stuff, yeah, because this is a motivational podcast, so that fits in really well there.
I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that I'm in a positive podcast.
Good stuff. Yeah, and I'm fascinated because languages is a big thing for me as well. I find like, how have you always known all these languages, or did you learn them all in school, or how did that
so I for a while I was born in Romania. I lived in Romania till I was 14, actually till I was 13, because I went with a bus from Romania to Spain, and I was 14 in Italy. I got to be 14 because it's a 3 days journey, right? So but I learned Spanish when I arrived to Spain, when I was like from 14 till I was 27, 26. And I did my college degree, history of art in Spanish. English, however, English was Shakespeare made me fall in love with English, because like I didn't understood all the words that he was saying, but when I was speaking the words, I was like, oh, this sounds, it's delicious. It's just the way it's perfect. And but before that, I was watching a lot of Cartoon Network. Actually, hopefully this year I'm going to finish investigation I made for my master degree. I'm translating it and readapting it and putting more stuff from what and maybe I'm going to publish it, and it's like a investigation of the archetypes and the symbiosis between cartoons and society, and the archetypes anyway. It's because of Cartoon Network. I remember Freakazoid was saying, "So do you watch us? Do you see us?" And I was like, "Yes, yes." And my mom, "What are you saying?" Like,
Yeah, yeah,
he said how I am, and I'm saying I'm good.
yeah. That's you learning through fun. Like there you go. That makes sense.
So
And
Cartoon
how many languages is your book in? Is it multilingual or
it's just in English. It's in
English?
English.
Okay.
It's in a language I actually like a lot, and it's so interesting because you need at least 5 years to understand a little bit the slang of a country.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel I'm getting there. I
yeah.
feel
That's right. Yeah,
finally there in Ireland, like the savage,
yeah.
top notch, 10 out of 10,
Deadly. You said deadly. Though.
deadly, savage.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Great
love it.
stuff.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Um, yeah.
yeah. Brilliant. That's great. Yeah. Because it's funny, like in Ireland, you probably heard it before. Um, Irish is a you have to learn Irish in school, but the
Mhm,
problem
mhm,
is everybody comes out with no Irish whatsoever, and it's only after when you get older. Like I love the language now because I'm learning it as an adult, but in
mm.
school it was kind of drilled into you. So it's like that's what I'm saying. It's so much easier when it's through fun and conversation. You know.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
It's impressive because it really shows, like, everybody says, the Irish laugh a lot or things like that, but it's like there's a sense of humor, a sense of sarcasm, a sense of like cheekiness in
yeah,
absolutely everything. And
yeah.
then I just learned, I think last month, and I'm still thinking about it. The name of jellyfish in like Egyptian, like
Mm,
the translation of the name jellyfish,
yeah.
it's lantern of the night. The translation of jellyfish in Irish
Mm,
is not of a seal. The name for jellyfish in
yeah,
Irish, in Gaelic,
yeah.
is not of a seal.
Not
That
obviously.
that that that's
Mm,
jellyfish. And
fish.
I
Yeah.
just I think that, I don't know. I was like looking at it. I'm like, oh my god! And I I I peed myself laughing. I was hilarious. I love it. I love
Yeah,
this
because
small.
Iasc is Irish for fish, so yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so you must obviously have a love for different languages, so Rebecca. Yeah, yeah.
It stays, the exhibition that I'm writing now, the portfolio, it's going to be mixed blood and or mixed race. It's about and it's so interesting how language has, it's like, if you look at the etymology of words, you can actually have a archaeological review of the history of that language.
Mm,
In Spanish, to say of mixed race, you just need one word, mestizo.
wow.
But
Yeah.
in English, you need more, because
Mm.
mixed what? Mix what? Mix potatoes with what? Mix what?
Mixed veg or yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But in Spanish, because in Latin America, there is so much big distinction of, are you mulatto? Are you a lobo? What are you? So we know what jobs you can do.
Yeah.
That the name mixer is there, it's ingrained, and that's like what I want to bring about in the introduction of a beautiful art that's going to be in the Mexican Embassy in the 30th of June. Yeah,
Right. Oh, that's cool, yeah. That's really cool. And where is that again, Rebecca? Where is that being held?
that will be in the Mexican Embassy on the 30th of June, and we'll stay there for, I think, a month or three weeks about.
Oh,
Yeah,
great.
and it has Mexican artists, and one of the Mexican artists has lived here in Ireland for about 13-14 years now,
Wow.
and she has a lot of symbols from the Celtic culture, from the, I think she made a lot of like Bridgets, and not
Mm.
in the exhibition, but like in general, she adores the figure of Bridget. And we talk about the Tonadana so many times, trying, like a Romanian and a Mexican trying to understand the Tonadanam.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
The culture is,
Right. Great.
for the people that enjoy this stuff, Ireland is
Mm.
a master dish. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh no, great. I can't wait to check it out, Rebecca. That sounds brilliant. And how did you get involved in the Ink Slingers as well? When did that start for you? When did that journey begin?
Like I came to Dublin.
When you came to Dublin?
Dublin,
Okay.
Dublin is the city of James Joyce, Oscar Wilde,
Yeah.
Jonathan.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I went to the Irish Writers Center and they said, "Oh, they have this writers group." I'm like, "Really?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. What year did you join? What year?
2019.
2019, yeah, just before COVID. I started in COVID in 2020. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Amazing, amazing that it keep on going in COVID as well. I'm so impressed with that.
Yeah, it was good. And how did you find the horrible word COVID? How did you find your inspiration through that time? Did you find it difficult or?
I was lucky for living in a space that is surrounded by creative people,
Hmm.
and I was trying to learn a little bit the craft of script writing. So
Okay.
I was doing
Brilliant.
during the 3 months that I was without a job, I was just writing, trying to write scripts every single week, at least one of like 5 pages, a 5-minute script. But then I was called back to work because I worked at the moment in a hotel that became a quarantine hotel. So
Okay.
I was working my ass out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had 3 months of 2 months and a half of just like, let's write. And
Shit.
then, Rebecca, do you want to work with the HSE? Like, come on.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And you're saying script writing is like you're doing plays, is it as well, Rebecca? Yeah.
I'm trying because
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I have a couple of friends that are also actors.
As
Some
well.
of them are based in London.
Hmm.
And they keep on we keep on talk about there. I have other types of authors that I like, right?
Yeah.
But that's the thing, you never think it's good enough.
Hmm.
And then you like give a part, and I'm still battling with that little by little to finally have, when my best friend says it's okay and she's an actress, I will say, okay, you can use it, do with it whatever you want. But for the moment, I just give her bits and
Mm. Yeah, great. That's great. Yeah, that's brilliant. Because Hollywood, you never know, in a couple of years, Hollywood could be waiting for you.
that's the thing. More than Hollywood, I'm thinking, because ah, I don't know if. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Like you're brilliant. You're brilliant.
Thank you.
And
Thank
but
you.
it's like even in Shakespeare. Shakespeare was actually like, if you read at it, it's actually a script.
Mm.
And then in my ideas is like, I'm going to talk about philosophy, I'm going to talk about alchemy, I'm going to talk about everything. And then I'm thinking, who's interesting in that, who's
Mm.
interested in this type of things? But
Mm.
like I had a good experience with this tarot card books. It's kind of interesting when you do a thing you want to do more.
Yeah,
And
yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah. Great stuff. Yeah. But I think someone was saying before, like, you can do maybe a 20-minute brainstorm, just throw all these ideas and then prioritize each one. That might be an idea that might
yeah,
work.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
for people
yes.
listening, because I've tried that and it seems to work. I haven't got around to doing the whole lot of it yet, but just kind of to give you, to kind of see what the most important things of priority is can be a good idea.
Yep, 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 yep. And they're always there, like you say, on the shelves, right? It's kind of impressive when you just like come back
Yeah.
and talk with your characters and they're still there. Some of them did more things and you're like, oh, when did that happen? And they're just
Yeah.
telling about, like, oh, good, good, good. Let me check on that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like it's unreal when you start a story, even like, for the prompts every Saturday. Like
Yes.
if you start with a character, like it starts building every week from the different prompts. Do you find that?
Yes, 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 yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes. And it's
yeah,
like they're cooking. They're
yeah,
boiling. They're
yeah.
yeah.
Right,
I
yeah, right. It's brilliant. Yeah,
sometimes I'm writing and I'm saying, okay, I have this weekend I'm going to dedicate to make the character art of this character in particular. And you're just writing and you're happy and you think you're going somewhere, and
yeah.
then it's just like another character from a different story just jumps in and like, what about me? I'm like,
Wow.
oh
Yeah, great, isn't
no,
it? Yeah,
it's great, but in the same time I'm trying like to ease it down, to ground it somewhere so I can actually have more things published.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's true as well. Yeah.
Lot of drafts, and it's an ongoing process. How do you manage that, Mark? How do you finish the story of Larry and the lamppost? How do you
Well,
what was the process? Can you share it with me now?
yeah, no problem. Well, it's just, well, as I said to you, listeners probably know that I wrote all the stories for my own kids as bedtime stories, and I had
Mm,
them all there. So it was just a matter of getting them down on
mm.
onto paper at the time, So that was my strategy at the time,
And you have the best audience because they give you the feedback straight away, and it's
Exactly. Yeah.
honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, because I know, like, what kind of strategy do you use yourself when you're writing? Do you kind of have a certain amount of words a day, or what way do you do it, Rebecca?
Um. So, I have dates, and I have a couple of dear friends
Mm.
that don't mind me chatting about this character called Martin, this character called Betty, this character called. But I'm trying like to have the things more completed and find new victims to
Yeah.
which tell the
Yeah.
characters, because it's kind of interesting. I like to see their reaction, right?
Mhm.
To see if they understood the points that I wanted to make
Mhm.
from the get-go. It's actually good luck that I have people that I can chat with about these stories and see if they like this better, if they like the other things better.
Mhm.
And also even with the Inslingers, or there's a few other writers group, women writing fantasy in meetup, or
Oh, very good. Yeah.
like different types. And it really is important to have a good feedback, and a feedback that also says, that didn't work. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Definitely.
"Ah,
Definitely. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Sometimes we need the, even if you're dreading it, you need it.
Yeah, because that's a very good point you make. Because there's no such thing as failure, only feedback. Because
Yeah.
they're the best way to say no. You could have done that better. You could have done that better. It's creative criticism,
Yes.
really, isn't it? Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Yeah. So, what's your main thing that's next, Rebecca, for yourself? What's the next thing you're going to work on?
Well, I'm finishing the poems for the editing the poems for the Mexican embassy, because
Yeah.
every single of the drawings of Katrina Rupit is going to have an edited poem by me.
Mm.
And after that, I'm trying,
Yeah.
hopefully, to make a Bible show for, I have this idea in my head that has been living with me for too many years.
Yeah.
And I'm just making the character stories for like a Bible show, a possible cartoon. I really want a cartoon. That's
Oh,
why
wow.
I'm not saying Hollywood, but if you say another thing, I will love that, because
Yeah.
I want, the archetypes to come back to life. I want to use the archetype. I want to see what they say, how
Yeah.
they develop. It's so interesting to have that experience with the characters. And yeah, I'm thinking about a Bible show
Great stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
of witches, of course,
Yeah. Yeah.
alchemy of fire, and how they deal with their shadow. That's the main thing.
Great stuff. Yeah, that's brilliant. Best of luck with everything. Like, your stuff is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I love it, because that's a great idea. Because my kids go to this stage show,
Mhm.
and I've given my book into them to hope that they might take it on for, as you say, like some kind of cartoon, or that would be a dream thing for to happen.
Ah,
You know,
yes, 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 yes.
yeah.
Yes.
But you never know where these things are going to lead. You don't. That's the best thing about creativity. Just putting enough stuff out there, like throw enough stuff to the wall, and someone's going to stick, as you say.
That's what all my creative friends say to me. Like,
Mm.
you have it, why don't you put it out? You have it, why don't you put it out? And it's just like trying to get out of that sort of like, but what if, nah, just put it out, and then it's a
Exactly.
process.
Yeah.
Actually, you showed a picture when you were looking at the book, and with the one that has one eye.
Y- y-
That's
y-
part. the Bible show, actually. That's how I was part of the brainstorming. It's Sick,
Okay.
the story Sick. And
Well, that's
it,
really, I love that you had that as a picture yesterday.
Ideas Blood. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I had the original there.
yeah, that
Ideas.
was really that. For any of us, everybody that's watching, that was really, really good. Like a lot of people had interest in that when they were going by. Do you remember a lot of
Yes, yes.
at the show? They were all kind of pictures like what do you call them again? They were kind of frames, weren't they? They were framed. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
really,
yeah,
really
yeah,
good
yeah, yeah.
job.
Because that's what you do in Inktober. You just like put
Yeah,
ink into it.
like,
I think
the owl. Yeah, really cool. The calling.
uh, the calling, the
Yeah,
ooze.
I mean, apologies, I didn't get a chance to read them today. I was just being being busy. That's
Epimetheus treasure. Um, yeah, there's the main
Sterling.
thing. It's grand. It's grand. You will see. Hopefully, you will see it, and we will discuss about it, like maybe in another podcast.
Oh yeah, just want to find it there. Which one were you talking about again? Sorry.
The poem is called Sick.
Yeah, let me just have a look here. 1 second. Sorry. Seek. Yeah.
Sick. That one. So it starts with I have a small animation from that I'm going to put on Instagram soon. I hope soon enough. And it's about a huge shadow that seems like very evil. And she turns around, and this is the moment that she tries to interact with it. And what will happen next?
Yeah.
After she interacts with that big shadow. That's the story.
Oh, very good. Would you mind reading that for us? That one there, that particular one.
Uh,
Seek, please.
no, thank you so much for this.
No, thank
You
you.
don't always have like the opportunity to talk about,
Yeah. No.
so I take it, you know.
Oh, brilliant. No.
Let's talk about Greek mythology and shadow work and
Mm-hmm.
you.
Crystal clear. So I'm just looking through them here.
And
Alchemy of Four. Wow.
seek and see from your problems the options, the solution that hide inside. Are you ready to look your problems in the eye and not get blind? Are you ready to look at the abyss that lies beneath your heart? Seek and see from your problems the options, the solutions that hide inside.
Wow. Great stuff. I love it. Really, really good. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely send me on all your links for the share on the show notes for everybody as well.
Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
can't wait for can't
Yeah.
wait for
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Yeah.
And can I just ask as well, music, what's your favorite music to listen to?
Well, it depends. You have many different types of music depending on how you feel, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoy Hozier in regards with Irish music, Hozier, Demon Rice,
Mm.
um, then Cranberries, depending on the
Oh,
moment.
class. Yeah. Really good.
In
Yeah.
regards with Irish, I have this folkloric rock band that I adore since I was a small kid, and I still listen to it. Called Phoenix Transylvania, Phoenix,
Oh, yeah.
and,
Cool.
and it has these stories about all the beasts from the folklore. You have the unicorn, you have the bird phoenix, you have the balaur, which is like a dragon that is everything that has to do with folklore and the beasts that are in the folklore. I love
Oh,
the
yeah.
sphinx.
Really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you ever listen to music when you're writing or doing your art? Is that one thing you ever do, Rebecca? Do you ever listen to music?
If it's brainstorming, maybe
Mhm.
not always. It's more like sometimes I feel like I thought that it's because it has voice.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so I tried instrumental because
Yeah,
I feel
me
that
too.
sometimes I'm
Yeah.
writing
Mm.
and I cannot hear
Yeah.
the voice of the characters.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
it sounds crazy, but
No, but no, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I said, okay, I'm going to put instrumental, and then I'm thinking I think Alan Moore was talking about exactly about this one time in one of his courses, and in his course, because of course, and I was saying he's so right. He's so right, because not even I tried to put chill, lofi, hip, but no, it doesn't work. When I do investigation, like when you investigate for example, the burning of Kilkenny, right? The first witch that was burned here in Ireland was in Kilkenny, was Petronella from Eilish Keitler. Anyway, when I do investigation, I like to listen to music. But when I'm writing, maybe at the beginning, and then I get annoyed and shut it down.
Okay, yeah, no, because I've only started doing it recently, like you say, just instrumental, no words, because words can, you're singing along with them. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Um,
yeah, because I'm just interested because a lot of people have different kind of ways of writing, listen to music or whatever, different kind of things that get them in a flow, so to speak. Yeah,
yeah, some of them can get you there, but there comes a point in which it's just not, it just doesn't go there, or you're reading it and you're like, there's something that I don't, is it my voice or is it Muse,
yeah.
the band.
The music, yeah, the band, yeah, very good.
Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's right. And kind of what kind of keeps you motivated in your writing and your work? Because it's a motivational podcast. What kind of keeps you motivated?
What keeps me motivated is still the constant curiosity, and what can I find next? What am I going to find next? It's so that's one of it. That's one of it. But in regard, I'm trying like to find a new motivation to allow me, because so you have capturing, it's a code. It's capturing, organizing, distilling, and expressing, right? I'm trying to find motivation for every single part of the process.
Yeah.
For I'm always capturing, because it's in my nature to always like, oh, this is so interesting. Oh, this is so cool. Organizing, I think from COVID times, I've managed to have my bullet journal and I'm organizing a little bit better. Distilling is another process that I'm fascinated with. It's more than motivation. I love to distill information. I love to say, to have those three references that I'm talking about. It's part of my joy. Now I need to find motivation for expressing, and it's mainly what I would like my sister to encounter in the web. I have a sister, a small sister. She's 15 years, 14 years and a half younger than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sometimes thinking, what would I like for her to encounter as a poem, as an artist, as something. What I think she will get something out of.
Very nice. Yeah.
So that sometimes keep me going. And also, like, if it's a theme that enthusiasms me, like one of the archetypes, and I think the story of that archetype, of that legend, is something that would inspire my sister, that inspires my teenage self as well,
Very good. Yeah.
I think this is something that kept me going in my dramatic old self.
No, that's great for anybody who's listening, because people will be listening to this and maybe they may have a block, a writer's block or something like that, and just something that you said might inspire them to say, oh, hey, that's something I must think about. Yeah.
I find it so important to enjoy it. So I enjoy a lot distilling. I enjoy a lot distilling information. And I know that whenever I am in the point of, okay, now I have to check this, because it's all about gods for me, because I'm trying like to put that in the Bible show right now. So that's what I'm talking about. So this guy so interesting, and that part of the culture is so good. I can put this, oh, this is so grand, and that's why it goes like this. Now it's about expressing how I can motivate myself to actually. But if find something that you enjoy, do that, and then prepare for the next step. Prepare, find, and talking with people like you, that having this sort of conversation, doing a market and seeing people doing their art,
Yeah, it's a great idea.
express their, it's
Yeah.
so inspiring. It's so
Awesome.
inspiring to see people. And it's in the same time you're thinking, even finding bad art and bad books, maybe somebody will look at my book and say, the poems are not, maybe the picture I grab, but the poems, good. That's your inspiration, man. That's your inspiration to do it, man. Express.
That's deadly. Win, win, win. Win, 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 win.
Exactly. I love good art. I love good art in every of their forms.
And did you edit your own poems? Did you edit your own work, or did you get somebody else to edit your stuff?
I edit them, yes, and things.
Yeah, no, good stuff. Because what I was going to say, my book, for my second book, I'm not going to. I got somebody to edit my book, which can, if you get somebody else to edit something, you can take some of the heart out of it. That's what I find. You know, for anyone listening, I'm not saying it's any different really than how I wrote it in the beginning, but you know, if somebody gets your book to make changes, subtle changes to it, kind of changes the characters a little bit. Do you find that? Because it,
yes, I had
you
this.
understand what I'm saying? Like it's kind of, yeah, I can, yeah.
It's interesting. That's why I like also to leave them on the shelves for long time.
Yeah,
and like small notes. I have like a box full of notebooks that have like small
yeah, very good.
small notes in it. And because I like to think about like I was telling about this story that I also want to include in the Bible show too. A man that does Dungeons and Dragons, so he's like the master of the Dungeons and Dragons, so he knows the story, and he was telling me how good the story is from the thing that they're making, and I was like amazed. And then I said, I have this fantasy story, let me show it to you. Bah, 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 bah. And he said, what about if you twitches this way? And I was, you know, when you feel like you're just like slapped in the face and like bust the wind. I'm like, that can work so well. Fuck. And then you just put it there, and I will let the characters deal with that input, and I will come back in 2 months maybe.
Great idea. Yeah.
And see what's the story, because some people that are in the storytelling business, they have their experience in regard with story, and I always try to put it there. But if in the end the characters say because I don't feel to a certain degree that is my story, you know, it's there, it came. And I think that also helps me with the expressing mode. So if I say it's a story that came, that's why I'm expressing it this way, maybe I will express more and share more things. So that's another motivation tip.
Right, yeah, no, thanks so much for that, Rebecca. Great stuff, yeah, great. And thanks so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure to discuss your work. It's absolutely brilliant. I look forward to your next stuff, all the rest of the stuff coming. Yeah, great stuff. And is there anything else I haven't asked you you'd like to tell the listeners before we go? Anything that's coming up? No, because we did say at the start of the show that before we started recording the podcast, we're gonna hopefully do another market in August. It's down in Kildare. I hope I've got that right. I think it's Kildare somewhere, but I'll update exactly where it is. It's been a long day, but I will put up. So hopefully, like we can do more of these markets and see how
even in the face art, probably we're going to have the opportunity to do this more frequently. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. No, Rebecca. No, it's been great talking, Rebecca. Thanks a lot, and I wish you all the best going forward in everything you do. And thanks a million for yesterday as well for organising that. Thank you.
Well, good enough.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. So thanks everyone for listening to today's podcast, Mark's Motivational Podcast, another Authors Tuesday with Rebecca, RG Bighiu. Is that right? I pronounced that right? Bighiu. 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 Thank you. Okay. So join us again for the next podcast. Take good care of yourselves and good night. Take care. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello everyone, Mark here.
Thank you for watching another episode of my Authors Tuesday podcast. I recently published a book of children's stories called The Adventures of Larry Lamppost and Friends. The book began life as bedtime stories I wrote for my own children. If you'd like to purchase my book, follow the link in the description box below. By buying my book, you are also supporting my podcast series for authors, which is giving a voice to writers in Ireland and across the world. This song is especially for Christy Dignam, who died there yesterday. And that's the day before yesterday. Here we go. You left this crazy world yesterday. Know you wanted to stay and play all those super songs you had that brought so much joy, brought so much joy. Christy what a voice, Christy what a show. Another one like that I will never know.